Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over the dual Toxocyst and how strong it is. Alright, let's go over the evolutions I chose. So the dual Toxocyst has two options for the second evolution. I elected to go with the direct damage per status because the other one has a requirement to get the additional multi-shot by casting abilities. So you have to cast 5 abilities in succession to get the full use out of it. Now, a lot of frames you can't just really spam, and to me, I don't think it's exactly efficient to do it that way. So I elected to go with the direct damage per status because it already has 4 statuses. If you wanted to add in heat, you could do that as well. So 33% times 4 or 5 or 6 or however many statuses you're putting on there, you're going to get that big bump in damage. For Evolution 3, it has a lot to do with reload or recoil. If you have weapon stabilization, you don't need this. However, I elected to go with even more weapon recoil anyway because I found that the reload speed is kind of whatever, in my opinion. And for the last one, you have a couple options. You've got punch through, you've got increase to crit, or you have plus 70% toxin. Now, I elected to go with the crit chance because at base, this weapon's crit chance is so bad, it's among the worst in the game at only 5%. But with the plus 20%, you can get into some decent crit numbers when you go with Commodore's Fortune. Now, for the build, you're going to want to go with something along the lines of this. With the additional crit chance and the direct damage and all that, no Riven. This is the build I recommend. You have 71% crit chance, but if you run galvanized crosshairs, you're going to be hitting a pretty decent crit, or you could even run it with Harrow. Harrow is very good with pistols. That would be another frame I recommend running this weapon with, considering the fact that his Covenant allows you to increase your crit on headshots, which is what you want to get with this weapon, and activating the headshots dictate how fast the fire rate is for this weapon as well. As far as stats, this is what you're kind of looking at here. 89 crit, 6.3 critical multiplier, and almost 130% status. This is solid numbers for a non-Riven build. So with the non-Riven build, you've got a fire rate about yay fast, pulling the trigger each time. Okay, you're going to reload with, takes about 4 shots to activate Incarnon. Now I don't have any secondary merciless built up, so obviously it's going to look pretty weak here. But you are hitting crits. Now when you activate the Incarnon mode, at full you get 270 rounds, which is massive. And it connects to targets like the Cycron or the Nucor, which is unbelievable. Here you're already actually hitting oranges at only, 71 crit and having galvanized scope in there. This is pretty solid. This is a good weapon. Now without the viral stage activated, it shoots about this fast. Still pretty good, but with it activated, I mean it just turns into dual Uzis basically. Dual Uzis of death. It's pretty strong. I would highly recommend getting this. Now let's say you ran this with Harrow. You've got Arcane Avenger in, and you're going to give yourself all this extra crit, take all this damage, increase the fire rate, all that jazz, right? What is the damage going to look like? Oh. Well, here you're already hitting reds. So let's activate it. That's the dual Toxicist. Now that was without a Riven. So, I mean, this weapon will destroy anything without a Riven. I mean, keep in mind, that was with Harrow. That was with all the bonus crit. But I was running this build, and I was running this build with Harrow right here. Arcane Avenger, not much else. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this gun is very, very strong. It it makes quick work of all of these enemies. And as I said before, that this weapon actually does have the unique property that some of the other secondaries have, with an AOE factor to the actual weapon. So it only takes about 4 shots to activate, but after that, I mean, you get secondary merciless proccing and everything is freaking dead. Oh, obviously you're gonna want to aim for the head anyway, because that is gonna increase your fire rate. But if you don't, let's see, let's activate it. If you don't, it's gonna shoot about this fast. Significant difference, but these things are very strong. These got some of the best buffs I've seen in a weapon. Yeah, I mean it's fantastic. This weapon is fantastic. I love it, and they look dope. Now, if you have a Riven, this is what I have on mine. I do have 2 Rivens actually. Uh, it kind of depends on what you want to go for. If you want to use a frame like Harrow and worry less about incorporating crit into your build, you can definitely do that and prioritize status. You may not even want to run the crit evolution and instead use the 70% toxin. You can totally do that. But I elected to go with more crit damage. I even got a little bit of punch through in here, which is really nice, especially since it has an AoE factor to it. But yeah, if you haven't selected your Incarnon adapter this week yet, I would highly, highly recommend going with Dual Toxicist. I've also went ahead and chose the Torrid as well. I will be uploading that video shortly after this. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will be uploading more Warframe content. And thank you so much. Peace out.